Here is a true account of the Moscow, Idaho case, which occurred on November 13th, 2022. This narrative is presented in a journalistic true crime style, drawing on official information, witness testimonies, police investigations, and analyses of the suspect's psychology. Story: The Moscow, Idaho case, November 2022. The scene and discovery. On the morning of November 13th, 2022, at 11:58 a.m., two roommates living on the basement floor of a rented house at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, noticed an unusual silence from the upper floors. They called friends to the house, and a 911 call was made from within, reporting an unconscious individual. Upon arrival, police discovered the remains of 4 university students on the second and third floors. There were no signs of forced entry or disturbance. Autopsies conducted on November 17th confirmed that all 4 had suffered fatal injuries during sleep. Some showed signs of resistance, indicating they may have attempted to defend themselves. There was no evidence of assault of a sexual nature. The victims and the night's events. The 4 students were identified as Kaylee Goncalves, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Zana Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. Zana and Ethan were in a relationship. 3 of the female victims lived in the house, along with the 2 surviving roommates. A timeline for the night of November 12th into early November 13th was reconstructed. 10 o'clock p.m., 1:30 a.m. Kaylee and Madison were at the Corner Club bar. 1:40 a.m. They visited a food truck. 1:56 a.m. They returned home using a rideshare service. Around 1:45 a.m., Zana and Ethan returned from a nearby fraternity event. The 2 surviving roommates were also home before 1 o'clock a.m. and reportedly heard nothing unusual during the night. The investigation police secured the scene, collecting over 113 pieces of physical evidence, capturing 4,000 photographs, conducting 3D scans, and analyzing more than 260 submitted videos and images. Initially, no official suspects were named, and motives remained unclear, though early reports suggested the act was targeted. Authorities quickly cleared several individuals, including the 2 roommates present at the time, the rideshare driver, a man seen with Kaylee and Madison in food truck footage. A single clue. Upon arrival, police found no forced entry, no internal surveillance systems, no missing items. A key item left behind was a dark brown military-style knife sheath with a USMC logo, discovered on Madison Mogan's bed. This became a central piece of evidence. Video surveillance investigators reviewed 113 local recordings, ultimately identifying a white Hyundai Elantra, 2011-2013, circling the area between 3:29 a.m. and 4:20 a.m. It passed 1122 King Road multiple times before leaving abruptly. The car's plate was unreadable, but it became a prime lead, narrowing the search. Using traffic camera data and vehicle registration logs across multiple states, investigators identified Brian Kohberger, a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, just 15 minutes away. He owned a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra. Notably, Kohberger changed his vehicle's license plate just 5 days after the incident. Digital evidence authorities obtained a court order to examine Kohberger's phone records. His phone was offline between 2:47 a.m. and 4:48 a.m. on the night in question. In the preceding weeks, his device had connected near the victim's residence 12 times, often late at night. Throughout December, the FBI kept him under surveillance. He traveled to his parents' home in Pennsylvania mid-month. December 24th, he and his father were stopped by police during their cross-country drive. December 27th, the FBI collected DNA from household trash, which matched the profile from the knife sheath. Arrest and legal action. On December 30th, 2022, federal agents arrested Brian Kohberger at his family home in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Items seized included a black face covering, disposable gloves, digital storage devices, several stained items pending analysis. Kohberger, age 28, was charged with 4 counts of first-degree homicide and 1 count of burglary. Key evidence included DNA matching the sheath at the scene, phone data showing prior presence near the house, footage of his vehicle in the area. Prosecutors suggested a second object might have been used, based on injuries observed in one of the victims. Psychological profile. Kohberger was reported to be socially withdrawn, allegedly fixated on one of the victims following a brief encounter. Some profiles linked him to communities expressing extreme resentment or isolation. According to the Idaho 4 by James Patterson and Vicky Ward, Kohberger engaged with disturbing content online. A Reddit user described his demeanor as unsettling and noted that he followed disturbing visual accounts. It's believed he may have ended his actions early after unexpectedly encountering one of the surviving roommates, who later reported seeing a masked figure. The conclusion. On July 2, 2025, Kohberger entered a guilty plea as part of an agreement that removed the possibility of capital punishment. He received 4 consecutive life sentences, along with additional penalties. While some families were disappointed by the absence of a full public trial, others expressed closure. Despite the tragedy, investigators' persistence led to accountability. This case underscores how even the most carefully planned wrongdoing can unravel through overlooked details, a sheath, a phone signal, or a passing camera. In the end, justice was not only about high-tech tools, but about determined effort and one person's mistaken belief that they couldn't be caught.